Welcome to Who You Got. I'm Declan Levy here with Will Silverstein, and we're going to give you our takes on the biggest games of the week.
Yep, we're going to start this week off with the Celtics and Lakers in Iowa, Indiana. Those are going to come up on Thursday, but let's get started with Wednesday's Spurs-Warrior battle for Western Conference supremacy. Spurs are 5th in the West. Warriors are 2nd in the West. The Spurs coming in at 10 games over 500 on the year. They have been solid to this point, which has been impressive considering they lost Kawhi Leonard and picked up DeMar DeRozan. They have their first game against the Kings coming up on Monday night, and then they'll hit that second game of the road trip in Golden State for that Northern California swing. They only have 2 injuries, and both to bench players in those reserves. And they're between 10th and 20th in every stat. So we're going to see an interesting Spurs team that's sort of solid in every area of the game. And they're going up against the Warriors team that's the best offensive team in the league.
Yeah, so with everything you just mentioned, who do you got? Who's going to win this game?
I have the Spurs for this game, and I have that because I think they are making an emphasis of coming out on that road trip strong. And the Sacramento Kings, it's a tough place to play, that Sleep Train Arena up in Sacramento. Very loud fans. The team's not that great all the time, but the fans are always going to be there for the Kings. And I think if they get humiliated by the Kings, have a close game, they know what to expect going to Oracle. It's always a good test. Even though the Warriors are 37-15, they've had some slip-ups this year. And you'd think you're solid, you got all your guys in, no one's hurt, you're good karma to this point. Now is the game where you get a reality check against Pop and the Spurs.
That's an interesting take, especially because the Warriors, they currently have no really main injuries to worry about, so they're playing some good basketball right now. I do like them at home, so we'll see how that goes into play. So on to our next game. We are going to keep it in the NBA for another primetime showdown, this time between the Boston Celtics. They are at home to the Los Angeles Lakers. The Celtics are currently 3rd in the East, and they have won 9 of their last 10. And so they got Cleveland on Tuesday. Kyrie, there's a whole lot of dysfunction there. He's going back to the place he just came from. And so here they are going up against the Lakers team. LeBron James, there's a whole lot of similarities between him and Kyrie coming back together. This one's going to be an interesting one. The Lakers are currently 4th in the West when it comes to rebounding. And JaVale McGee, he averages with 6.8 boards. So that really tells you that everywhere on the floor, people are coming down with some rebounds. But in this game, it's in Boston. I'm going to have to go with Kyrie Irving and the Celtics. There's just so many options on that offense. It's going to be tough to stop.
Yeah, I'm an LA guy, but it's the Grammy road trip traditionally for the Lakers and Clippers and Kings at this time of the year, so they got this tough road stretch, and it's also on the day of the NBA trade deadline. So there's a possibility you're going to get AD, and you're thinking to yourself, well, we can give up a tough game to Boston. We still have another one later in the season, and next time we might have Anthony Davis or another good star player. So I think they're not going to take this game too seriously. They know they have a home stretch coming up after a huge slew of road games.
It sure will be interesting to see what that Lakers team is going to look like come this matchup. I don't know. My guess is it probably won't be that different coming into that game.
No, it'll be interesting to see if LeBron's playing too, depending on how early he wants to get on this road trip, if he wants to sort of go in towards the tail end, get a little bit healthier as the postseason starts to wear down, because after this road trip, they just have 25 more games and it's the end of the season.
Yeah, and LeBron, he just sat out against the Warriors, so I think he's getting his legs back under him, and I expect him to be out there against the Celtics, but I don't know, that one-man band, I don't know if he'll be able to take down the mighty Celtics.
And the Celtics, they have all those guys. They have Horford. They have guys like Kyrie, Marcus Smart. It's just a physical team all around, sort of like the Lakers, except they have a little bit more of an offensive prowess, and Lakers definitely don't have a Kyrie Irving. They have Rajon Rondo, but he doesn't put up points like Kyrie does.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah. And if one of these teams starts a blowout and just 1 hour later, number 20 Iowa takes on Indiana in Bloomington. Indiana, they're 13-9. They're 4-7 in conference, 9th in the Big Ten. They had lost 7 in a row. This was a ranked team. And then one at number 6, Michigan State, just sort of out of nowhere. Juwan Morgan, he's 5th in the Big Ten in field goal percentage. And it's the first of the 2-game series. So if the Hawks do get punked in Bloomington, they'll get a chance to see them again come, I believe, in 1 month. So it should be a good game.
Yeah, this game is very intriguing for me. The reasons, so this game wasn't going to mean a whole lot coming into last week when both Iowa and Indiana were struggling. But now both of these teams are coming off their biggest wins of the season, and this is a huge road test for Iowa. This is such a big game, such a catapult into what could be for this season. That big game against Michigan, where we all know what happened, ended in a court storming for the Hawkeyes. And I really like Iowa on the road. I like the momentum that they have, the way Fran has them moving, and I'm going with Iowa.
Yeah, I agree with that pick. I think they were 2-3 on the Big Ten road so far. Those wins coming against bottom half teams, similar to Indiana. Those were coming against Northwestern and Penn State. I like that momentum coming in, especially with the Michigan win. But what they have to realize, Indiana's coming in with that same momentum. They beat Michigan State on the road. Now they have a home game. Fans are pumped up again after it looked like they'd be going to the NIT. So I think it's going to be tight. I think the Iowa Hawkeyes do pull it out. I'd say within 5 points. I think it's going to be a close one in Bloomington. That crowd's something else.
Yeah, Assembly Hall is always a tough place to play, and Iowa is 2-3 on the road in the Big Ten. But all 3 losses came to teams that were 10 games or more over 500. So, they have been playing at really the best competition in the league in the Big Ten. Yeah. But I really do think they'll take a win over in Bloomington.
Yeah, and they don't have any players in the top 5 in really any major category, which says 2 things. It could be a positive that you take away that, look, we got guys all over the place that can contribute, we can score. But it also says we can't rely on someone, night in, night out. Who's going to show up? Is Kriener going to have a big night? Are we going to see a big night from one of the big guys? And they have to rely on all 3 to sort of show up. And same can be said with assists from Bohannon, Wieskamp. Who's going to make the difference for those games?
Absolutely. Thanks, Will. So that's all for us now. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to check out our other segments with Lucy Rodines around the Big Ten.
And we'll see you next week.